Give it up for Julia, who beat cervical cancer. Give it up for Regina, who beat breast cancer. Give it up for Jasmine, Lauren, Hugo, Elena, Ryan. Give it up by giving on Giving Tuesday and help the American Cancer Society end cancer as we know it for everyone. Just $50 gives a patient a free ride to treatment and much needed support. Give it up for #Giving Tuesday. Give now at cancer.org/Giving Tuesday.
Hey there, I'm Tyler, the host of Wake Me Up, the only guided morning routine podcast. No matter how you'd like to start your day, Wake Me Up has something for everyone. Whether you'd like a calming meditation, some easy yoga and stretching to wake your body, or an inspirational talk to get you motivated for the day, you can find all of it on Wake Me Up. So trade the snooze button for an episode of Wake Me Up and see how your days change. Just search Wake Me Up in your favorite podcast player.
Recorded in Chicago, Illinois, with your hosts, Ken, Matt, Neal, and Jeff. This is Triviality.
Hello and welcome to Triviality, the game where a lack of seriousness meets a little bit of knowledge. That is the tagline. We say it every single episode. My name is Matt. I'm joined in the studio by some people.
Yeah, what's up?
Ken.
Yeah.
How are you?
Good. Anybody
Jeff?
else? Anybody else here?
I'm here, Neal. Matt, great job on that one take read. That was awesome.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
well, we're going to pretend that that's the case.
Well, this is only episode 291, so I figured eventually I would get it right.
Hey, as long as we get it right before 300, I think we're set.
Mm-hmm. Were you excited about episode 300?
Yeah, speaking of episode 300, it's coming up pretty quickly, and we wanted to do something special you might have seen in the crop or on Patreon or Discord that we're going to try and do an all listener-submitted episode. We want to include as many of you as possible, and we haven't done one where it's all audio questions, so if you'd like to record a question for us and record yourself reading it with a category, anything like that, or a special message if you want to tell us you still love us, you hate us, or you don't listen to us anymore, whatever you want to say, you can upload it to a Dropbox that we have, and the link is in the crop, Discord, and all that good stuff, but we'll put it in the show notes for the next few episodes. And yeah, just upload a question, have the file tagged as like a category, and we're just going to pick 30 straight questions, and for the 300th episode, we're going to play live, hear them for the first time and see how we do, but also thank all of you for making this possible that we got to 300.
Yeah, and Neal, you mentioned something about our guests going forward for the next couple episodes, right?
Yeah, going forward for the next 10 or so episodes, I'm going to do my best to schedule a mix of newer patrons, newer guests, so people that we haven't met before, which we have today, but also celebrating those who paved the way for us to get here today, including our first batch of patrons that joined in our first year of existence.
Patrons Classic, I think we called them.
Patrons Classic. So the people who first joined us, I do want to give a shout out. He won't be able to be on the final 10, but David Raffetto, our first patron ever in 2017. So thank you, David. We know you can't be on one of these episodes, but we appreciate it. And
Is
everyone
your mom
else
coming on?
My mom isn't going to come on, but she's here in spirit. So
Okay.
yeah, she's here in the studio floating around. Even though she's alive
Yeah.
still, but it's whatever that's called.
Astral projection.
Astral projection, yeah. She's sleeping
She's
somewhere.
been studying.
Yeah.
Yeah, so getting all those new patrons on, it seems like you can get a Disney Fast Pass to get on the show. So if you haven't signed up, patreon.com/trivialitypodcast, now would be the time to do it, I think.
I think you're right. And unfortunately, we don't have the bracelets yet to hand out, but we'll get there.
Yeah, so we'll start with our Patreon classic, creator of the Oakland 5. So you've heard this phrase probably multiple times throughout our 291 episodes so far. She is from St. Charles, Missouri. It's Liz Hudson. How you doing, Liz?
Hello, I'm good.
Not
How are you
Oakland
guys?
anymore.
Not Oakland, sadly, but I'm Oaktown in my heart.
Well, since you were a classic Patreon, it's been a while probably since you've been on. Why don't you tell the folks at home a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm Liz. I recently moved to St. Charles, Missouri about 2 years ago. I have 2 kids. I work in a marketing agency that is in Oakland, so I have still my work is there, and I visit there often. So I guess I left my heart in Oakland, as they say. But here I am in Missouri, and yeah, I'm really happy to be here and really appreciated the ask. It was actually funny, Neal, the day that you emailed me, I was wearing my Triviality t-shirt, which I hadn't put on in a while. So I was like, oh, I put on a Triviality t-shirt and magically I'm asked to be on the show. So
hopefully that
was
means
great.
you put on a t-shirt from us and good things happen.
So the sensors are working.
It's true. We did put special sensors in the t-shirt, so anytime you put it on, we know, and we get an app alert.
Senses the body heat.
Yeah.
Sort of seemed like that, honestly. Sort of seemed like that.
Where can you purchase those teas?
Well, you can get them at our TeePublic store. So if you go to one of the links in our show notes, our link tree, it'll have our information there. Or you can just go to TeePublic, search us, or go to our website at trivialitypodcast.com and click T-shirts or merchandise.
Oh, all right, that's enough shilling. We're doing really good on this episode. Liz, do you have any preference on who you'd like to play with today?
I am going to play with Neal.
I'm excited to be wanted. Thank you. And I think if you're okay with it, Liz, we should name our team Trivia Royalty because you are Triviality Royalty.
I mean, I accept the crown. Not sure if I agree, but I accept the crown.
And in that case, me and Jeff will play against you guys, and we'll be Trivia Poverty, because that's what it's going to be like, I think.
We'll see how we do, but there's one more missing piece. Matt, why don't you introduce today's host?
Oh yeah, we probably need someone to ask some questions, and that's going to be one of our newest Patreon members. We appreciate it so much. He's a rules guy impersonator from Santa Ana, California. It's Zeb Noesser. How you doing, Zeb?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing pretty well. Why don't you tell the folks at home a little bit about yourself?
Let's see. I work in construction as an inspector. I tend to work about 100 hours a week or more.
That's a lot.
So I'm really happy to be able to have the time off to be able to be here today.
Glad you could join us.
Now, speaking
Yeah,
of
yeah.
inspecting, what would your grade be of Triviality inspecting about 200 episodes so far, 150 episodes? Are we doing okay, or are we structurally sound?
I would say you guys are absolutely structurally sound. Since I started listening to you guys, I want to say maybe 4 months ago, I haven't had to listen to Ryan Seacrest even one time. I just, I have you guys running in my car at all times.
He's going to be our guest on episode 295, so you can skip that one. Awesome. Well, we can't wait to play the game that you have written for us today. But before we do that, obviously, we have to get the rules. Any preference on a rules read?
Oh, I'm down with the Dutch rules read. I love that.
People love the
Down
Dutch
with the
rules
Dutch.
read. Take it away, Mr. Dutch Boy.
De regels van het spel zijn simpel. 20 vragen verdeeld over 2 rondes, waarbij elke vraag 10 punten waard is. Halverwege is er een speciale swingronde, ontworpen door de host van deze week. Na deze rondes beginnen de spelers aan de finale, met de punten die ze hebben verdiend. En hebben ze de mogelijkheid om 0 tot 30 punten in te zetten op 5 gecategoriseerde vragen. Aan het eind van het spel wordt iemand benoemd tot the cream of the crop.
The cream of the crop. Nobody does it better.
Thanks again to Willem, as always. We appreciate it. And with that, I think all the clerical work is out of the way. Let's get to the game.
All right, so I wrote you guys sort of a travel-themed game, so hope you have fun. I've heard from some that it's a little tough, so let's just work through it. All right, so we're going around the world. I called the quiz Around the World in 20 Questions, and here's question 1. Category is starting in Birmingham, Alabama. Everyone knows the Olympics are a sporting competition held every 4 years. Held typically 1 year after each Olympics and also worldwide, this event, held in Birmingham, Alabama this year, is host to a collection of sporting events that aren't quite mainstream enough to be included in the Olympics. Sports such as orienteering, lacrosse, korfball, jiu-jitsu, flying disc, billiards, and more. What is this sporting event called?
Let's just say somebody had a funny time and funny idea and said Weird Olympics.
Okay, we'll lock that in.
Let's see. So it's after the Olympics. I'm just trying to think of something like really generic name. I don't know. How about World Games?
Okay.
The wide world of sports.
Yeah.
All right. We got the Weird Olympics and the what?
World Games.
World Games.
Well, look at Neal just backing into that one.
Oh, my God.
Wow. See?
That's going to be my only one.
Let's come up with the most generic name we can think of. World Games. Hey, there it is. It's World Games.
I think
The
Neal-
naming team wanted to get home by 5 that day. So
I was going to say Neal secretly has the mindset of every committee.
Oh yeah, just when can we get to dinner? Just decide.
Neal's royal privilege coming in already. All right, let's get the next one.
All right, category 2. What the heck are they playing is the name of the category, and it's an honorary Dutch boy question. I'll give you that hint. Invented in 1902 by Dutch schoolteacher Nico Broekhuizen, this sport, with similarities to basketball and lacrosse, is played by 2 teams of 8 with 4 men and 4 women per team, and has been featured in the World Games since 1985. And if you guys don't know it, automatically I have 2 hints.
I'd be good with a hint. I have no idea.
I don't know right now.
Okay, first hint is, anybody know how to say basketball in Dutch?
No. Second hint, please.
more hints. More hints.
The second hint is, I gave the answer as part of the previous question.
Oh God, it was one of the ones he listed.
Oh, I do remember one of the ones he listed, so I don't know if we can lock it in.
Lock that in.
Okay. All right. We'll lock in.
So what did he say?
I don't know. You think I can remember 2 minutes ago?
What about like court polo?
That doesn't sound Dutch, but sure.
Doesn't sound real either.
Go.
Yeah. I think that was the 8th or 9th thing I listed was court polo. Yes, I did.
The only sport that I remember hearing in the question, because I thought it was a unique name, I don't know if it's the right one, but we locked in with korfball.
And you were right.
Yes.
Yeah.
I blocked that from my memory.
Yeah, I just heard korfball and I was like, that's funny, and then I kept thinking about it, so I'm glad it stuck.
Nice.
And Matt, you played this in high school?
Yeah, I had a high school teacher who loved this. Whenever it was like a rainy day, we would go inside and play this in the whatever that little field house thing
Oh,
was.
you know
and,
what? We might have done this too.
Maybe
he
we
always
did.
called it. He called it Thunderdome, which it was not, because he liked to give the speech from Thunderdome before we played.
I love the name
That is
Thunderball
the
though.
most high school gym teacher
Yeah,
thing
you
I've ever
gotta
heard.
you gotta keep yourself, entertained.
Yeah. you
Oh,
certainly
I've
do.
seen that. Yeah.
It's pretty wild. All right.
Maybe we should do a Triviality whirly ball sometime.
That'd be fun. We should record while we're doing whirly ball and getting slammed.
Yeah.
All right. So, Dutch, you say? Let's find some secrets of Amsterdam while we're here. Amsterdam is famous for its canals and bicycles, but even just sneaking around on foot in the Jordan district, we can find countless cozy art cafes, quaint museums, and of course the historic Prinsengracht, more commonly known as this place.
I mean, I've been to Amsterdam. I've been to Prinsengracht, but I am not really understanding what he's going for here. More commonly known as...
Is it like a fountain or something, or like a park, or?
No, okay. There's the museum is the Rijksmuseum, Rijks. I think that's the big museum there. So I don't think it's that. Oh, I mean, I guess maybe it could be the red light district.
Oh, yeah, maybe that's like. Oh, yeah, that's the more common name. Yeah, I like that. Do you want to go with that?
Yeah, at least that's a place
Okay.
in Amsterdam.
Hey, what do you know? We said the red light district as well.
Well, no points here. So the Prinsengracht is actually the Anne Frank house.
Oh,
Whoops.
I wondered about that. Different.
It's that big
Yeah,
swing and
so-
miss.
So close.
So a little blurb, though it's a common misconception that Anne Frank was hiding in Poland or Germany, the secret annex was in the Jordan district in Amsterdam. The Germans invaded Netherlands in 1940. In 1942, Anne and 7 others went into hiding for 761 days before being captured in a raid by the Gestapo on the warehouse where the secret annex was.
On
I have
behalf
been
of
there.
all of us, I'd like to issue an apology to all of our listeners and the Netherlands.
All right, question 4. Well, that was depressing. I think I need a long walk.
Start that one from the top of the question,
First time I
please.
was using that for Jeff.
Starting in France and ending in Galicia, Spain, this 500-mile trail has welcomed pilgrims from those seeking spiritual enlightenment to those seeking adventure for over 1,000 years. Bonus, 2 points if you can name a father-son duo that made a movie about this walk and the name of that movie. 1 point for the duo and 1 point for the movie.
Let's just say it's The Long Road, and we'll do Kurt Russell and Wyatt Russell.
Okay.
I know all of the facts he's talking about, but I don't know any of the actual answers, which is super unhelpful. But I think the father-son duo is not a famous thing, not famous people. It's just like a guy and his son. And I think maybe one of them was sick or was having some problem, and it was like a spiritual healing kind of journey, I think. Oh, wait. No, wait. Now I'm remembering there might be a famous person. Oh, God, I'm playing so bad right now.
No,
shoot.
I'm trying to think because at first it made me think of that TV show, Jack Whitehall and his dad, but that's a TV show. Travels with My Father, so that's not going to be a movie.
I want to say like, and it is like a religious thing. Like, I don't know. I feel like this guy might have been Catholic or something. I feel like my dad was telling me about this when he was like studying Catholicism a lot. Anyway, I don't know the name of it. I wrote down God's Walk, but I don't know.
So you said the person's probably really Catholic, whoever's famous?
No, I thought it was to do with Catholicism, like the guy who did it. I thought he was a Catholic, but I'm not sure.
Well, father-son duo, I mean, the first one that comes to mind that's a Catholic, at least the father's a Catholic that I know of, is Martin Sheen and Emilio Estevez.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I think that might be.
Are you kidding me?
That's them?
It might be. Oh, that is ringing a bell.
They did a movie that was like it looked like a straight-to-video type movie where they're walking a lot.
This is unreal.
Yeah, let's say that. Let's say that. I think that might be Martin Sheen, but I don't know what it's called. God's Walk, something like that. I don't know.
I can't remember.
I think you guys should go with your gut, because
it's better than nothing if that is.
Okay, I can't remember the name of it, but I do remember the DVD cover of them. It's like a sign, and they're like walking somewhere together. So I don't know what it's called either. But let's say Martin Sheen, Emilio Estevez, because he's a director, so maybe he directed it, and then we'll just like you said, we'll call it God's Walk.
So essentially, 1 point for Neal. They talked their way into Martin Sheen, and Emilio Estevez directed a movie. Emilio Estevez was only in it for a short time. I don't want to give away too many spoilers because it's a great movie and you guys should go watch it. But it's called The Way.
The Way.
And the Martin Sheen ends up walking the way, which is the El Camino de Santiago, which goes from France to Spain. And the English name is The Way of St. James, which I've only heard it called that a couple times.
Well, that's appropriate because my dad's name is James, and he has recently departed. So shout out to James for getting us to Catholicism on that question.
All right. Question 5. After that long walk, I'm thirsty, so let's head to Italy for some vino. We've come to the right country. Turns out Italy is the world's top wine-producing country, with 44.5 million hectoliters produced in 2021 alone. I wonder how much that is in gallons. For 10 points, tell me within 150 million gallons how much 44.5 million hectoliters is. And 1 bonus point if you can tell me within the same range how much wine the U.S. produces each year.
All right, we've done some math, and when I say we, I mean Jeff, and we're locked in.
Do you want to just pick a random number? I think we'll be okay. We're good. We're doing okay so far.
Yeah, we're gonna say. I have no idea. I don't even know what's reasonable. Like 500 million gallons.
Sounds reasonable.
Sure.
Stupidest thing in the world.
Anything's
500 million
reasonable.
gallons in Italy, and they're the most. So, I don't know. 400 million in the United States. This is so dumb.
All right.
Okay, so Jeff came up with 1,150,000,000, and for Italy, and then we just said 1 billion for the U.S.
All right. Okay, and so Team Royalty was, it goes to Team Poverty on this one. So the actual answer is 1,176,000,000. So you were really close. So it ranged from 1,026,000,000 to 1,326,000,000 is the range. So, Team Poverty gets the points, and then nobody gets the bonus. The bonus was 800 million gallons.
Well, in much lower numbers, let's take a look at the scoreboard. Team Poverty getting on the board with 10 points there, but Team Royalty in the lead with a first time ever 21 points after 5 questions.
All right, question 6. When in Rome, build as the Romans do. The secret to making this substance, used highly throughout ancient history, was lost for nearly 1,000 years after the fall of the Roman Empire, and even after being rediscovered in the 1400s, didn't come back into wide use until the 1800s.
What do you know about Roman substances?
Like concrete, maybe? Is that
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense because they built up so fast and so big compared to every other society. So what would have been used? Concrete. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Build, when in Rome, build as the Romans do. Yeah, I like concrete. Yeah, let's just say it. Why not? Because I feel like if they would have been the first to use it, obviously it worked out for them until everything went to crap. But let's do it.
Yeah, we also locked in with concrete.
And you guys are both correct.
Nice job.
So concrete. The hint was you'll see a lot of this used in both Maine and Oregon, and that might not be much of a clue to most people. But there's a Portland in both Maine and Oregon, and Portland cement is basically the element that makes concrete work. Here, I'll dish out our final question from Italy. This old Milanese wall mural has been damaged and repaired countless times since its completion at the end of the 15th century. Now it sits in a climate-controlled room and can only be viewed by visitors with reservations for 15 minutes at a time.
We're locked in.
The Last Supper?
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's right. Climate control. Yeah, that sounds right to me, if you want to lock that in.
It was the climate control that locked it in for you.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple food hints in that wording. So, yeah, we're going to go with Last Supper.
Okay, and you're both right. So both teams get points. The Last Supper was commissioned as a work that Leonardo da Vinci could do in his spare time. So the surface preparation and methods he used were such that he could stop and restart with large time gaps. This application method didn't turn out to be one that could stand up to the conditions the wall resided in. So over the centuries, it's been repainted, unpainted, retouched, hidden, found, repaired, and finally restored. And when they determined moving it would destroy it, they had a humidified viewing vault built around it.
Don't mind if I just do this in my free time, as just kind of a afterthought.
As I'm doing all the other things, like inventing helicopters.
Yeah.
All right. Question 8. I'm ready for a spa day. Let's move east a bit. We'll make a stop in this grand capital known to many as the City of Spas for having more thermal hot springs than any other capital in the world.
So Liz and I discussed Helsinki, Finland. We both thought that could be the answer, knowing they have a lot of spas there. But it didn't seem like it was east in the question. So we thought, well, maybe Turkey was a little bit of a better answer. And Liz, you came up with the capital. What did you say?
Ankara.
We also went east, just a little east, and seeing as how he said grand in the wording of the clue, we figured Grand and Budapest go pretty well together. So we just guessed Budapest.
Budapest.
It is Budapest.
That's good. I thought that Grand had something to do with it, but I couldn't connect it. Good answer.
So Neal, I'm surprised you didn't get the Grand Budapest Hotel lead in.
I know. That's my bad. I should have, because they have spas in the movie. They're
you know
in the
why?
spa.
It's because he's feeling hungry.
Probably.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, we need
All
a dad
right.
joke noise for that one.
I know. We have to figure out what a good dad.
I don't have enough
joke
kids
noise.
for the amount.
He's a dog dad.
That's fair enough.
All right, number 9. Hungary is landlocked, but not double landlocked. The crop is frequently cropped up with questions about the 2 double landlocked countries, Liechtenstein and Uzbekistan. This question is for those sad, forgotten, single landlocked countries hemming them in. Everybody knows Liechtenstein is wedged in between Switzerland and Austria. For 2 points each, what are the 5 countries surrounding Uzbekistan?
I think there's stands around Uzbekistan. So I think Kazakhstan, Tajikistan. I also have Armenia might be around there. And kind of running out of steam there. Do you have other stands in mind?
I mean, the
Stanley Kubrick.
Stanley Kubrick, right? Everyone who loves BTS, those are pretty passionate stands. I like your
Lee.
answers.
Of Sebastian Stan.
Stanley, Uncle Stan.
I'd move there.
Is Georgia a country on its own anymore these days?
It is.
It might
Yep.
be. Yeah.
Yep.
It might be around there.
We could do Georgia.
I think there's another stand that I'm not thinking of. Kazakhstan, Tajikistan. This doesn't seem right, but we can say those things. I have Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, Afghanistan, Armenia, and Georgia.
Couple stands.
We agree with you on Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, Afghanistan, and then we said Turkmenistan and Kyrgyzstan.
All right. Poverty, once again, is getting 10 points. I believe, okay, so you got 6 points. So the hint was there's 2 T's, 2 K's, 1 A, and 5 stands. All right, so question 10. I'm sorry, this one's tough. Flying home as time runs out on the first half. Speaking of flying, in 1980, a movie was made that came to define a genre of movies that I enjoy. Airplane, though not the first, was the flagship of a series of slapstick, deadpan comedies that people typically either love or hate, but must watch at least once. The movie was closely based upon a 1957 disaster movie that the directing team bought the rights to. There's no time left in the first half, so name the movie.
Yeah, let's just say time's up.
Okay, Liz. So I think I know, but I just want to hear what you have to say because I might be off, and I think you've been helpful with getting me on the right track here. So.
No, I really don't think I'm much help. For some reason I thought there was a movie called Airport involved in this, but I don't know what that has to do with time or anything. So
No, that is true. So one of the references that it makes is there's a serious movie, I believe it's called Airport 77 or Airport 1975, one of those that it's making fun of. I think it's when the plane crashes through the glass or whatever. That's in the other movie too, but in a serious way, not a joke. So the directors, the serious one, the directors are known as Zaz, Zucker, Abrams, and Zucker. So I know that one for sure for the bonus. And I think the movie is 0 Hour. And that's our final answer.
Okay, so the correct answer is 0 Hour. It was a disaster movie with blaxploitation and bad fish dinner that the team bought the rights to and added their ridiculousness to. And yeah, he's right also about Zucker, Abrams, and Zucker. So full points, which is 12 for Team Royalty and no points for Poverty on this one.
All right. After the first round, we have what I can assure is the first time a team has ever had 59 points. Trivia Royalty taking the lead. Trivia Poverty had a little streak there, got 5 in a row. They have 50. So as Neal always says every single episode, it's anyone's game. Let's go to the swing round.
All right. So we're back home in the U.S. And I have to say everything's a bit bigger. For the swing round, I have come up with a list of big things. The goal is simple. I provide a list of 10 big things in the U.S. and the names of 10 states. Your mission is to match the 10 things with the 10 states. Okay, so the largest Renaissance fair in the U.S. by area and attendance. The largest tree in the world. The longest suspension bridge in the U.S. The largest independent bookstore in the U.S., the world's largest toy museum complex, the largest gem and mineral show in the world, the largest comic book shop in the world, the largest trivia competition in the world. No, it's not this one. The largest children's museum in the world, and the town of Casey that fits on this list. The names of the states are Arizona, Indiana, Texas, New York, Oregon, Missouri, California, Colorado, Illinois, and Wisconsin.
All right. those are the questions for the swing round, and we'll be right back after this break.
Laura, Spencer, and Michael are pop culture nerds.
Jim Carrey plays the same character in The Truman Show and Sonic the Hedgehog.
They enjoy analyzing fan theories found on the internet.
Is the Grinch the sole survivor of a brutal genocide committed by the Who's?
Their discussions are civil.
You can do what you want. That's fine. You're just stupid.
Honest.
I honestly don't have very much knowledge of the show.
Mature.
So what you're saying is we shouldn't care about how much he poops.
For every theory, they have a rating.
I think it's time for us to rate this theory.
I'm going to say this is genius.
This is completely preposterous.
I am saying plausible.
In addition to being entertained, you'll learn fascinating movie secrets.
In Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, Voldemort shoots a green light from his wand because he wants Harry to go away. Harry shoots a red light because he wants to stop Voldemort.
And after every episode, you'll come away being able to say,
we're all dumber for having listened to this theory.
Fan Theory Queries is part of Airwave Media and is available everywhere you listen to podcasts.
Behind every work of art, there's a story. Okay, sure, it sounds kind of obvious when I say it like that, but think about it. How many times have you stood in an art museum, maybe with a date or with your mom, looked at an artwork and thought, I don't get it? I'm Amanda, and I know the feeling all too well. To me, knowing the story behind an artwork is a huge part of knowing how to look at it and appreciate it. And on my podcast, Art of History, that's exactly what I share with you. In each episode, we view history through the lens of some really great works of art. There is so much we can learn about the people and things which someone way back when deemed worthy of recording for posterity. And let me tell you, on the podcast, we have barely scratched the surface. Join me as we dive deep into the bigger picture behind some familiar and maybe not so familiar works of art. No prerequisites required. Check out Art of History wherever you get your podcasts.
All the answers for the swing round are now locked in. So can you tell us those big things one at a time, one more time, and we will tell you what state we think.
All right. Largest Renaissance fair in the U.S. by area and attendance.
We said Illinois because we think there's one called the Bristol Renaissance Fair that I've been to one time. Pretty big.
We were also thinking of Bristol Renaissance Fair, but I think it's right over the border in Wisconsin. So we said Wisconsin.
Could be.
All right, I went with a little gamesmanship here. The largest Renaissance fair in the U.S. is, as they say, everything is bigger in Texas. Number 2, the largest tree in the world.
We went with California.
Yeah, we also went with California.
And you're both correct. For sheer mass, General Sherman is a coastal redwood in California Sequoia National Park, coming in at 52,500 cubic feet. And if you're thinking about height, it's also in California, which is in the Redwood National Forest. Hyperion is 380 feet tall. All right, the longest suspension bridge in the U.S.?
Since California was out, we went with New York.
Yes, we also went with New York.
And I believe I heard Liz name the bridge, and she was correct. You want to name it?
Yes, it's the Verrazano Narrows. It might have another name now.
It is still the Verrazano Narrows, and it connects Staten Island with Brooklyn and spans 4,260 feet, which is just under a mile.
Wow.
The largest independent bookstore in the U.S.
When I heard the question, I thought Oregon immediately, and it was an option, so we went with Oregon.
We felt the same way. We thought it's got to be something probably in Portland, so we said Oregon.
And you're right, it is in Portland. It's Powell's Bookstore, and it takes up several levels and an entire city block. I've gotten lost in it twice. All right, number 5, the world's largest toy museum complex. This is where it started getting hairy, I think.
Yes, we agree, and we went with Missouri.
We landed on Arizona.
And Poverty got it, Missouri. The largest gem and mineral show in the world.
Just a guess, but we felt that had a Colorado sort of feel to it.
We did too. We just didn't think about this one, said Colorado.
And Colorado's a good guess, but it's actually Arizona. Tucson, Arizona has the largest gem and mineral show on Earth.
That was our second guess, so.
The single largest comic book shop in the world?
Well, we're wrong because we said Missouri.
And we're wrong because we said Texas.
And if you had reserved your Colorado from the gems, you would have gotten it. Mile High Comics is in Denver, Colorado, and it's 45,000 square feet, and it houses roughly 10 million comic books. The largest trivia competition in the world.
And we said Arizona.
Yeah, we said Indiana as a guess.
And it's Wisconsin.
Oh.
There's a university radio station in Stevens Point, Wisconsin that's been hosting a yearly trivia program since 1969. At last count, the 54-hour contest had roughly 12,000 participants in roughly 450 teams from around the world.
I think I have seen that come by my trivia Facebook feed before.
It's actually been mentioned on this show a couple of times. Okay, number 9. The largest children's museum in the world?
For this one, we said Indiana.
Yep, we thought there's a big one in Illinois, and we just took a guess.
And Indiana is right. So Team Poverty gets the points. The Children's Museum of Indianapolis is nearly 500,000 square feet. All right. And the town of Casey that fits on this list?
We said Wisconsin.
For some reason, I was sure there was a Casey, Texas, which maybe there is, but that was not the answer today.
There probably is a Casey every state, but this particular one is in Illinois. It's about 300 miles from you guys south. And it has no less than 12 of the world's largest things, including a mailbox large enough to live in, a seesaw that could rock all the people in the town at once, and a 46,000-pound rocking chair that works.
All right, after that swing round, the game has been swung a little bit. Team Poverty picking up 25 points, bringing their total to 75. And Team Royalty picking up 15 points, trailing just by one measly point with 74.
The meek shall inherit the trivia game, as they say.
All right, Zeb, take away round 2.
All right, so back on our adventure, we're going to start with a Disney flop. In 1981, Disney produced Michael Crawford as a comic book artist, super spy, who used amazing gadgets that he invented based on his comics to perform action sequences, including a flight from the Eiffel Tower and a car chase with a gypsy van that turned into a supercar that turned into a boat. The movie flopped, and critics picked at its carcass until its bones faded away. Can you pluck its name from those carrion-eating beaks?
I've seen a poster for a movie. I don't know if it's right. It's my gut, though. There's a bad movie called Condor Man.
That sounds good. I was thinking it had to be some kind of superhero sounding thing. Condors, I think, maybe eat carrion.
Okay, condors are kind of like vultures, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, if you're good with that, we can lock in with Condor Man.
Sounds good to me.
We didn't know the man part. We just said the condor.
Dun 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 Condor Man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Points for the
Condor Man, and that was the theme song.
Judges?
Oh, that's host discretion.
Ooh. For the
Line
it's
judge?
Condor Man.
All right.
No, it's it's Condor Man. Sorry.
He gave the thumbs down, the Joaquin Phoenix thumbs down.
Sorry. All right. So number 2, a Russian grammar question. What is the gerund in the following sentence? Nikolai and Alina enjoyed running numbers for their Uncle Markov's underground bookie parlor until they were both gunned down because they knew too many Russian mafia secrets.
Okay, well, first of all, I really thought Zeb was going to start speaking in Russian right then, so I'm glad it was in English, not Russian. But I think of gerund as a verb ending in ing, so I think it's running.
Oh, that's much better than me, who doesn't know what a gerund is, so I'm happy to go with that.
All right, we had no idea what a gerund was, so we just picked like one of the many like subjects in the sentence, or not, maybe not subjects, but objects, I guess. And we said underground bookie parlor.
Okay, and Liz is absolutely correct. A gerund is a verb that's been turned into a noun by adding ing, which is running. And so Team Royalty gets the points on this one. Okay, the next one category is the tropic topic. So it's time to fly south and check out the southern hemisphere a bit. As we fly, we see a line that wraps around the earth that says tropic of ... We can't see the last word. Knowing that we have gone south of the equator, for 10 points, which tropic must this be? And for 2 bonus points, if you can tell me exactly how many degrees south of the equator this tropic is.
First tropic I think of is Tropic of Cancer, but I don't even know if that's in the right area.
It's either Cancer or Capricorn, and I think Cancer is the southern one.
Okay.
And I want to say it's like 45 degrees south.
I like that.
What's the one that George still has under his bed?
I mean,
It's Capricorn.
Los Angeles is like 34 degrees
Okay.
north. I think it's like 45, but that's a guess.
That's better than my guess, so.
We said Cancer, and we went with 30 degrees.
All right. Sorry, guys. It is Capricorn.
Shoot.
And it's 23 degrees. So no points on that one.
Just make sure to return the Tropic of Capricorn so you don't get the bookman on your case.
Okay, category the river horse. A story goes that in 1910, a couple took their canoes out on the Zambezi River above Victoria Falls. Their canoes and bodies were later found mangled in the second of 6 gorges that flow away from this. It came as little surprise to discover that their canoes had been capsized by what aggressive aquatic animal common to the region?
Yeah, I would say hippopotamus. I know they're aggressive. I think there's also water buffalo, which are aggressive.
Oh, yeah. But I guess if it was mangled,
Yeah, let's
hippos...
say hippopotamus. That was my first.
Yeah, so while the jaguar has the strongest bite of a cat,
Oh my God.
the hippo has the strongest bite of any animal. So we can go the hippopotamus.
Yes, as we learned from, I believe, episode 2 of Triviality, prolific killers.
That's right.
And hippo, I believe, is the Latin or Greek or something for horse, right?
Yeah,
so we said
river horse or something
hippopotamus.
All right. Okay, well, you guys are so close, but it's actually the jaguar. The jaguar did. No, I'm just kidding. It's the hippopotamus.
I was about to retire permanently.
If I never hear another jaguar fact again, actually, that's what I want for Christmas.
Yeah. A Trevor Lawrence jersey.
A fun fact, hippopotamuses run in groups called dales, and they mark territory by flinging their own fresh dookie with their tails.
Just like us.
That's, yeah.
Last time I was at the zoo, I remember the pachyderm house, they tell you to stay away because...
Stand back.
Yeah, they will fling it at you.
More scat facts from Triviality.
All right, category. It's a small world after all. The English name for this enclave, the closest to the Tropic of Capricorn, sounds like it could be the next big area to open at Disney World. The African name sounds like it could be a vodka drink for a cybersecurity team. Either way, this place sounds like a good time for somebody. Give me both names for 10 points. And I want both for full points. No, there's no half points.
Should we just say Eswatini and Swaziland? Is that what he's going for?
Well, I mean, Eswatini, I think, is the... Like, Swaziland is the old name.
Hold on. No. I think that's the answer. Because one sounds like a new place in Disney, and one sounds like a vodka drink. So Eswatini, Martini, and Swaziland. So
Okay.
Stop right.
Wait, is it... No, is it... I don't think it's Swaziland, though. I think it's...
That's the old name.
Is it, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jeff's absolutely trying to kill us.
He really wants this one wrong, so you should just let him do it.
And royalty?
Yeah, I locked us in on my paper with Eswatini and Swaziland.
Yeah. Jeff, you want to keep on talking yourself out of it, or?
No, I'm good.
You okay taking the points?
Sure.
All right, cool. Yeah, you both got 10 points.
All right, after those 5 questions, Royalty taking the lead back up to 104. Poverty not too far behind with 95.
All right, number 6. A somewhat impractical mode of travel for this time of year. We travel from southern Africa to the Australian continent by hot air balloon. No worries, we stocked up on plenty of wine and cured meats in Italy. While creeping over the water, we noticed the Indian Ocean garbage patch. The garbage patch is an area of floating waste being spun together by an ocean gyre, which is a large area where 2 currents interact and cause a circulating effect on a grand scale. The garbage patch, usually spinning counterclockwise, is spinning clockwise. For 10 points, why?
Liz, I apologize because the only thing I'm thinking of, is Garbage Pail Kids, the movie. So I'm way out of my league here.
You're thinking about Garbage Pail Kids, and I'm thinking about Bart flushing toilets in Australia. So
That's what I was thinking of, Liz.
Right next to Rand McNally.
Yeah.
Gonna call
Why?
Australia
Why?
and find
I
out
mean,
why.
Is it two bodies of water intersecting, and that makes the stuff turn the other
he
way?
said it was two currents. He said it was two currents that meet to cause this thing. So
Mhm.
why would they be changed directions? I
Maybe
don't know.
different temperatures. One's salt water, one's fresh water. I don't know.
Why would that suddenly change? It's like something weird is happening to change the direction of it, is what he's saying, I think. Like, I don't know, a hurricane is happening? I have no idea.
Oh, he did say this time of year is hurricane season,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, he said, this time of year. So why something changed? Normally goes one direction. Now it's going some other way. I don't know. We could just say hurricane season. I have no idea.
Okay.
All right. So we've often heard, specifically from The Simpsons, that the water spins down the toilet in the opposite direction in the southern hemisphere due to
the Coriolis effect.
Okay, so the correct answer is that it's winter or monsoon season. Normally, the land in southern Asia is warmer than the water of the Indian Ocean, so the surface winds blow from the ocean to the land. The winter months bring the South Asian monsoon season, which causes a cooling of the land. The wind reverses direction and the gyre follows suit.
Okay.
So the closest team was royalty with the hurricane, which is not technically right, but they did at least connect it to a weather.
We didn't get Condor.
Man.
Yeah, you don't have to give us points.
You didn't get Condor.
Once again, all the
right.
points go to the
All
top
right.
1% of teams.
That's right. All right. I'll
lead this podcast as usual.
You're right. I didn't give you Condor, so hurricane is not a monsoon.
Yeah, we can take some moral victory points there, Neal. We were on the right track.
Okay, question 7. Your Majesty, there is no second. The oldest contested international trophy, the 100 Guinea Cup, was defended and won by a single team for the first 132 years of its existence, a record unmatched in any other sport. The rules for winning it have changed frequently, but its name has only changed once. What is the name of this trophy today? For a bonus point, who currently holds the cup?
I have no idea what any of that was, but Jeff seems to have an idea, so we're going to lock in with his guess.
Might be a foolish one.
That's okay. Guess is a guess.
So I don't know this off the name right off the bat. Do you?
No.
Okay.
My thought could be, I was thinking about sailing. It could be America's Cup.
Oh, I like that. That's been around a long time because it makes me think if it is sailing, that is sort of a sport that, I don't know, you have to have the right, this is going to sound dumb, but you have to have the right materials and stuff. And if one country won it for 100 years, I feel like sailing would make a lot of sense. So
I feel like New Zealand, Australia. I'm trying to think. I think I watched it. I don't think it's the US. So.
Let's go Australia just for our friends from Australia.
Okay, sounds good.
We also went with a series that takes place with Australia and some other competitors. And we guessed the Ashes, which I know is a super old test cricket rivalry between England and Australia. And I think Australia is the current holder.
All right. So it was the America's Cup. It is sailing. And it is recently held with, you should have gone with your friends, Neal, from New Zealand.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry, everyone from New Zealand. Sorry,
And,
Ryan Boyd.
I little blurb I have about it is, though America's Cup was held by American teams for 132 years, the name change of the trophy was not in honor of the country who won it, but in honor of the name of the first schooner to win it, which was the America out of New York. All right. Number 8. Stew over this one. Though New Zealand is composed of over 700 islands, the country is primarily 2 large landmasses that make up the 6th largest island country in the world. These landmasses, very creatively named the North Island and the South Island, are separated by just 14 miles of ocean waters. With the Tasman Sea on one side and the Pacific Ocean on the other, What is the body of water directly between the North and South Islands of New Zealand? 10 points for either the English or the Kiwi name. 1 bonus point for both.
All right, we think we picked up a small clue in that. We don't know if this is right at all, but we're going to lock in.
Does the stew give you any
Yeah, I mean,
clues?
that must be... No, but that must be what he's talking about. I don't know if it's food-related stew or, like, Stuart, somebody named Stuart. Like,
Stuart.
do you think it's the Strait of Blank, maybe? Or... Yeah, Stew. I mean, it could be Stuart, right? Somebody named Stuart.
Patrick
Stuart Smalley.
Stuart Smalley, yeah.
Strait of Smalley.
The Strait of Smalley. I like that. You want to go?
That's great.
We're good enough. We're smart enough, and we'll answer the Strait of Smalley.
Gosh darn it.
And we just
Gosh
said
darn it, people like me.
We just said Stuart Strait.
All right, so the stew is actually related to cooking because it's Cook Strait.
Oh, okay.
Captain Cook.
That makes sense.
This next question, I was going to rewrite it, but it's a long question, sorry, but several have been long. It's not a world tour without Antarctica. As I travel by rowboat, once again a poor choice of vehicle, from New Zealand to South America, I gaze south at the vast whiteness of Antarctica. We are nearing home, so I can't help but to think of the 3 year-round research stations under U.S. jurisdiction. There is one on Ross Island, the largest station on all of Antarctica, but ironically there are no McCrows there. The one on Anvers Island, where the peninsula juts out from Antarctica like a finger, and the one at the geographic South Pole, where nobody performs in LA about the Enterprise's chief engineer. Name any 2 of these stations for 10 points, and all 3 for an additional bonus point.
We're locked in.
I don't know, Liz. All I'm going to say is the only outpost or station that I know is from the Thing with Kurt Russell. I think it's Outpost 31, but that's not going to help us. So
I have no idea. None of those words, which I'm sure had lots of clues. It's not getting me anything.
I heard Enterprise Engineer, which I think is Scotty from Star Trek. Maybe one is the Scotty station. I have no idea though, or the Scott station. I don't.
And then I don't know if they're like Amundsen is the name. Amundsen.
No, that's right. Yeah,
associated
because I think it's related to the dude from Psych. Yeah, let's do the Amundsen station. Scott station. Yeah, I don't remember the other one.
I don't know either. It doesn't matter.
Raleigh. I think that's the dude who climbed Mount Everest. Maybe he went to Antarctica.
All right, that's 3. What do we have, Jeff?
I can only come up with 2. You were correct with Edmonton. It's the Edmonton Scott, which is the one at the southern pole. And McMurdo is where they generally fly a lot of their supplies into. And I couldn't think of the third one. So that's what we went with.
All right, so our poor impoverished finally got some points. It was McMurdo Station is the largest one. The clue there was McCrows, because murder of crows. The Anvers Island, the one on Anvers Island, is the Palmer Station, where it juts out like a finger, the Palmer Station. And then, the Amundsen Scott, where the... That was a tough one to give a clue for, because the only thing I could think of leading you to Amundsen, there's a performance center in LA called the Amundsen, and then the Enterprise's chief engineer is Scott. So where nobody performs in LA about the Enterprise's chief engineer.
That's what I was thinking. Actually, that's where I came up with it from that clue. So it did help you get there.
I was to say, it's named, I believe, for the Norwegian and the Brit who were the first ones to go there. So,
all right, and number 10. One question for all the bacon in South America. In 2011, a river was discovered in Brazil that ran the same route as the Amazon, but was much larger. While the Amazon is 1 to 100 kilometers wide, another river 4 kilometers below it is 200 to 400 kilometers wide on the same route. For your final question and 10 points, what is the name of this river?
All right, we have no idea on this one. We thought we heard something in the question, but we can't connect it, so we're just going to have a Lucky Johnson River.
Anything
you
on...
said South America? Lucky Johnson.
Anything on this one, Liz?
The only clue I heard is Zabacon, is what he said for all the bacon or something like that. So I don't know. Pig River is what I wrote down, or rasher, or maybe he's talking about money, something bacon related.
Oh,
Is there
okay.
a French word for bacon? The bacon? I don't know.
I believe pig in French is la couchon. So
Okay, let's say that. La Couchon River.
okay.
Yeah, we caught that hint too, but we couldn't get there. So what do we got?
All right, so I would never have an answer of La Cruchon because I can't say it. So it's the Hamza River, Hamza. It's named after the scientist who made the discovery. His name was Valia Manethal Hamza.
We had every piece of that. I just couldn't.
Yep, no answer, so hard to put it together.
Yeah.
All right, so going into the final, it's still a very close game, a little low scoring. Wagers are going to be really important. Team Poverty at 105, trailing Team Royalty just by 9 points with 114. So let's see what happens. Take it away, Zeb.
All right, so our categories are number 1, Catching Waves. Number 2, Buried and Gone. Number 3, Hiking. Number 4, Family Game Night. And number 5, Rules Guy Impersonator.
The wagers are now in. It looks like the teams are taking opposite approaches. We're going 5s on everything except for games night. We're going to go 30 because this game has been mighty spotty for us. You guys are doing what? A lot more points, huh?
Yeah, we're doing 20-35 for the Oakland 5, 30-20. So we're betting a little bigger.
Yeah, I got a lot of Oakland 5s in there, so let's get the questions.
All right, so here we are with Catching Waves. Norrin Radd is a hero introduced in Marvel Comics in 1966. In return for sparing his planet, he became a herald to a cosmic being. He was given his own cosmic powers and a unique way to zip around galaxies in style, looking for meals for his new boss. Name this character and his boss. Buried and Gone. Roger Williams died in 1863 and was buried on his property near Benefit Street. In 1860, the Historical Society decided to move his body and place a memorial at the location of his burial. Instead of bones, they found some nails, some teeth, and an apple tree root that had grown in a peculiar Roger Williams shape. This root was assumed to have eaten Roger Williams and is now on display at the John Brown House Museum. Which East Coast state was Roger Williams the founder of? Hiking. The U.S. has some of the most amazing and beautiful hiking trails on the planet. So often we think we need to travel around the world to find the gifts of Mother Nature, but the National Park Service lists more than 21,000 miles of trails designated for hiking right here in the U.S. The longest trails are over 2,000 miles each. Can you name 2 of them? Family Game Night. I feel like nothing beats a family bonding event like a good old-fashioned game night. For years, my family has had game nights several times a year where we can forget our troubles and just enjoy being together. This unusual art-based game requires a player to describe a card in their hand in such a way that some, but not all, the other players will be able to identify their card out of a group of artistic picture cards. Rules Guy Impersonator. In listening to the back episodes, I've frequently heard chess questions come up. Specifically, I have heard questions about castling. This isn't that, but hopefully these questions have spurred you to play chess a bit, or at least open a book about chess rules. There is one unique rule in chess in which a pawn can attack diagonally to an empty square and remove the opponent's pawn from the square he just passed. Try the answer in French.
We now have the questions, so we'll be right back after this break with our answers.
Welcome to the future in this year's wildest, super fun show for adults.
Hey gang, it's Josh Olson.
And Joe Dante.
And we want to tell you about our podcast. It's about movies.
Josh, there are 1,000 podcasts about movies.
Sure, but ours is different, Joe.
That's true, actually. Our guests are writers, directors, musicians, comedians, actors.
Hell, we even have other podcasters on.
We play no favorites, and they don't talk so much about their own work. but about the movies that have influenced them and made them who they are. We call it the movies that made me.
We've talked with people like Guillermo del Toro, Little Stevie Van Zandt, Martin Short, Ethan Hawke, William Friedkin, Barbara Crampton, Jonathan Ross, Dennis Lehane, Mark Duplass, Adam McKay, Lorraine Newman, Jason Reitman, Alison Anders, Elijah Wood, Stephen Canals, Eli Roth, Joe Bob Briggs, Roger Corman, Bobcat Goldthwait, Ileana Douglas, Dana Gould, Martin Campbell, Shane Black, Albert Hughes, Emily Deschanel, Jill Biafra, Larry Fessenden, Nicole Housen, Shaka King, Lee Daniels, Rosalind Chow, Clancy Brown, Yardley Smith, Ike Barinholtz, Steve Arquette, Thomas Welton, Gina Prince, Lightfoot, and Uwe Boll.
It may not be highbrow, but it's lots of fun.
Subscribe for free on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get podcasts.
In color to thrill you as never before.
The Unbiased Science Podcast is devoted to objective, critical appraisal of evidence on health topics relevant to listeners' daily lives. I'm Dr. Jess Steyer, a public health scientist with expertise in public health policy, biostatistics, and advanced analytics.
And I'm Dr. Andrea Love, an immunologist and microbiologist with expertise in infectious disease immunology, cancer immunology, and autoimmunity. And together, we are the hosts of the podcast.
The goal of the Unbiased Science Podcast is to dispel misinformation and misconceptions across an array of science and public health topics. We love to debunk myths and help arm our listeners with information so they can make evidence-based decisions.
We hope you'll tune in to the Unbiased Science Podcast, your trusted source for no nonsense, just science. New episodes air every other Wednesday, so make sure to mark your calendars.
We're now all locked in with our answers. Can we have the questions one more time and see if poverty or royalty will take the crown today?
Rightio. So, Norrin Radd is a hero introduced in Marvel Comics in 1966. In return for sparing his planet, he became a herald to a cosmic being. He was given his own cosmic powers and a unique way to zip around the galaxies in style, looking for meals for his new boss. Name this character and his boss.
Yeah, so for 5 points, we said Silver Surfer is the character, I'm pretty sure, and I guess the planet-destroying boss would be Galactus, but not positive on that.
Yep, for 20 points, we said Silver Surfer and Galactus.
And you're both correct. All right, Buried and Gone. Roger Williams died in 1863 and was buried on his property. In 1860, the Historical Society decided to move his body and place a memorial at the location of his burial. Instead of bones, they found some nails, some teeth, and an apple tree root that had grown in a peculiar Roger Williams shape. This root that was assumed to have eaten Roger Williams is now on display at the John Brown House Museum. Which East Coast state was Roger Williams the founder of?
Yes, we said for 5 points, Rhode Island.
Yep, we clued into Brown, and we're hoping that it was Brown University. We said Rhode Island for 30 points.
And you guys clued into the right Brown. It's Rhode Island.
Ooh, falling behind here.
Okay, hiking. The U.S. has some of the most amazing and beautiful hiking trails on the planet. Which three, can you name two of them?
Yeah, my connection to this question would be through my friend Jory, who often does these like enormously long trails, and I follow her on Facebook and I see her progress. So shout out Jory if she listens and has reception wherever she's hiking currently. We said the Appalachian Trail and the Pacific Crest.
Yeah, those answers sound really good. I thought that there is one called Pacific something, but we just said Pacific Trail, and then we came up with Discovery Trail for the second one.
Okay, so Discovery Trail is not one on my list. I have the Pacific Crest Trail and the Appalachian. The other is the Continental Divide Trail that is 3,100 miles. Okay, so family game night. I feel like nothing beats a family bonding event like a good old-fashioned family game night. For years, my family has had game nights several times a year where we can forget our troubles and just enjoy being together. This unusual art-based game requires a player to describe a card in their hand in such a way that some, but not all, the other players will be able to identify their card out of a group of artistic picture cards.
Yeah, we don't know this game. We wagered 30 on it, unfortunately, but we said Telestrations. Kind of sounds like a game name.
And Liz, you came up with the name?
Yeah, we also wagered, and we said Renaissance cards.
Okay, so this is a game called Dixit, and you have a group of a bunch of oil painted cards, and you try to describe your card in a way that somebody's going to get it, but not everybody's going to get it. All right, and rules, Guy Impersonator. In listening to back episodes, I've frequently heard chess questions come up. Specifically, I have heard questions about castling. This isn't that, but hopefully these questions have spurred you to play chess a bit, or at least open a book about chess rules. There is one unique rule in chess in which a pawn can attack diagonally to an empty square and remove the opponent's pawn from the square he just passed. Try the answer in French.
Yeah, I picked up a spur. The word spur jumped out at me, so we were trying to think about horse terms in French, but alas, we don't know any French at all, so we just said flank.
Liz is a huge chess player, and we wanted to wager 20 points on this one, knowing it was going to be chess. And Liz, what did you say your patented chess move is?
Yes, this is just a really special thing that I do. It's called Le Baguette.
Le Baguette. Wow, how'd you know it, Liz? Le Baguette. No, it is. It is not. It is a. So the last word in the description was passed, and I said try the answer in French, which is en passant, which is just in passing in French.
All right. After a pretty tough final there, Team Poverty coming up just a little short today with 85 big points, making today's cream of the crop Team Royalty.
Going of the crop.
Congrats.
One day the first shall be last and the last shall be first, but today is not that day.
I was going to say Triviality mirrors real life, and the rich got richer.
Yeah, we squashed the revolution today.
Even we can't escape that reality.
We did. We do have guillotines.
The oppressed are still oppressed.
One day I will eat Neal.
Yeah. I'll let you eat me at one day. But yeah, unfortunately.
Eater of Neal.
The eater of Neal, yeah. Well, Liz, it was so much fun playing with you. You really carried us today because these were a little bit outside my wheelhouse, but I tried to be a decent teammate.
Thank you, Neal. I have to say that geography and math, it's like a nightmare situation, but I feel like we did okay.
We did.
And
we survived.
I'm glad there was a bunch of movie stuff in there for you to help us out.
Yeah, I know. I felt pretty good about it, and I'm just glad that we were able to become victorious. And Zeb, great questions. Liz, we'll start with you. Thank you for being Triviality royalty, for instilling the Oakland 5 on the show, and just always being a wonderful supporter and friend of the show. Any last shout outs or anything you'd like to say before we let you walk down the red carpet?
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. It was really nice for you to reach out. I really appreciate it. I enjoy you guys as friends and trivia hosts. Like a shout out to my trivia team, the Hot Cops, my boyfriend Omar, and my friends Kevin, Matt, Brian, and Zach, who keep me in the know of all kinds of different things, although they will be disappointed in my chess knowledge or lack thereof. But yeah, always fun to play with them and always fun to play with you guys. Thanks for having me.
Of course. And Zeb, wonderful game you put together today. It was great, the theme that you put together across the world, and a lot of great clues in there that we missed, some that we got. But yeah, any shout outs, anything you'd like to say before we let you go back to your hike and enjoy your walk?
I got to thank Louis, who gave me a great rules read, and Jane and Captain Neal, which I don't know his actual name, on the Discord server, who gave me play testing. And a lot of people on the Discord server gave me a lot of help figuring out which questions needed some rewording and which were too hard and that kind of thing. So I got to thank everybody on the crop. But yeah, I had a great time. It's a blast.
Thank you, Zeb, and thank you, Liz. Just wanted to mention that Triviality Podcast is an Airwave Media podcast where you can find great shows like The Accidental Creative, Art Smart from Who Arted, and Ben Franklin's World over at airwavemedia.com. For Ken, Jeff, Matt, Liz, and Zeb, my name is Neal, and that was Triviality.
I like how your reasoning for that one was, what's a boring place to have a children's museum? And you're like, Indiana.
Whatever gets you there.